Hey everyone, welcome to my channel where you can find information to help you better collect, restore, and use cast iron cookware. I have had a lot of people asking me how to set up a Lye tank. So we're going to take this little Birmingham stove and range blue ribbon biscuit pan and we're going to clean it with a lye bath. And I'm going to show you how to set up a Lye tank coming right up. Okay, I picked up this little Birmingham Stove and Range Century Series Blue Ribbon Muffin Pan, and you've probably seen my video on this piece. And it's a little gunky and it's kind of sticky. I mean, you can just feel the rancid oil. It doesn't have a really heavy layer of seasoning, but we're going to clean it up and I'm going to show you how to set up a lye tank. Now, lye is what they call caustic soda, and you can get it in many different versions. And what you want to use is 100% sodium hydroxide. And you can see it right here. I'll try to zoom it in. Now always look, because you'll find some that'll say active ingredient, sodium hydroxide, and then it'll have a bunch of other things on there. Now you don't want all those other chemicals on there. Now sodium hydroxide is lye, and it's used in the food industry for cleaning and making different kinds of food. So it's not safe to eat, but it is used in the food industry in the preparation of some foods. Now, we want to be careful with it. We want to make sure that we use gloves and safety glasses, and just be careful all around. It's not even a bad idea to have a little handy spray bottle of vinegar water solution on hand just to spray down some things that maybe you splash and don't really want the lye to be on it. So let's get right to it. Now, like I said earlier, this caustic soda is poisonous to ingest it. So, you know, we don't want to get it in our mouth or eat it. But not just that, it's also harmful to your skin. So, number one, we want to wear some safety glasses just in case we get a splash. And number two, we do want some protection on our hands so that we don't have issues of getting burned. Now, I have dealt with this stuff so much, it doesn't seem to bother me like it does some people. Now, some people it bothers very badly. I've even had a few people to say they have scars to prove it, so we don't want any more scars. So first of all, you're going to need a tub of some kind to put your lye in for your lye bath. Now, let me zoom down here where you can see what we're doing. Now, I've got this little tub right here, and it is just the right size for my little piece of cast iron. But I've got this other piece that will not fit. So if you want something a little larger, you're going to have to use a larger container. In the South, we have this is called a 1 gallon measuring cup. So we're going to pour 1 gallon of water, and you can use warm water or lukewarm water, it doesn't really matter. The formula for a lye tank is 1 pound per 5 gallons of water. 1 pound per 5 gallons is the same thing as 16 ounces per 504 ounces. So that all comes down to 3.2 ounces to 1 gallon. I'm going to go ahead and go to 3.5 ounces because I can measure that a little better. And I've got my little measuring cup by ounces. And we're going to fill this up to 3.5 ounces. And there we go. 3.5 ounces. And we'll bring our camera back down. Okay, we have 1 gallon of room temperature or slightly warm water. Now, you don't want to use hot water because it'll heat up anyway when you add the lye. Never add water to lye. Always add lye to water. You get your water in there, and then you just kind of sprinkle it around. Don't just dump it in because it may clump. And we have a little left in the bottom there. Now I have this all metal spatula. Probably a good idea to be stirring this while you're pouring it in, because I do see some places where it's kind of become hard in the bottom, but it's dissipating. So I'm just going to keep stirring and working this down until all the big clumps are gone. And I can see all the big clumps are gone. Now this part you want to be a little bit more careful with because you don't want to splash yourself. So we want to go in really easily. And that's one reason why you want to use good rubber gloves. That way, if you get it on there, you can rinse them off. So, let's move our camera back up. And we'll carry this and rinse it off with our spoon and other stuff. We got our solution mixed, and we have our cast iron in the solution. Now, where I'm at right now, I don't have any kids in the house. It's just me and my wife. I've got two little animals in the house, and I'm going to keep the door closed. Normally, you would like to do this outside, but there's not any fumes that you really got to worry about. But you don't want to have it where kids can get to it or critters can get to it, because it is dangerous if you ingest it, and it will burn you if you get it on your skin. So I'm going to keep it in this room with the door shut and locked if there's any kids around, but I'm going to make sure that it's safe. Now, if it's outside where it is really cold, it's not even going to work at all. Now, if it's down in the 40s, it will work a little. You will probably take about a week and a half at 50 degrees. Now, at 60 degrees, maybe about a week. 65, 70 degrees, you're going to be able to get a good cleaning in about 3 days. And we'll come back and we'll check out our results. Let's take one more quick look at it before we go. We can see that the water is already starting to turn brown because the lye will actively work to eat away those organic ingredients. I just want to say this, you cannot use this method on aluminum because it will eat away at the aluminum until the aluminum will just disintegrate. And at the same time, it will produce a flammable gas that is not good to breathe, and it could catch on fire. So we'll come back and check on this every day for the next 3 days and kind of show you the results as we go. So see you tomorrow. We're going to take a quick look after 24 hours, and we can see it's really dark and the seasoning is being released as it's being eaten away by the lye. We'll check it again tomorrow. Okay, now it is day 2 of the pan being in the lye bath. And we can see the water is still discolored, but not a whole lot of change since yesterday. We'll check it again tomorrow when we finally take it out on the 3rd day. Okay, we made it to our 3rd day, and it's been in solution for 3 days. And the water has not really changed in cloudiness any in the last day. So before we go any further, we're just going to make sure we get our safety equipment on. Glasses for number 1. And also we got our little safety spray bottle of vinegar water solution just in case. And we have our liquid resistant gloves. What we've got going on right here. Now, I would suggest to do this by your sink or even in your sink or outside by a garden hose. But I'm going to lift it out really slowly. I'm having to work here in my studio, so we have, we're going to let it drain as much as we can. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go ahead and carry it to the sink, and I'm going to give it a really good rinse. Now, if you're outside, you can just go to the garden hose and just rinse it off really well. The more water you add, the more it will be diluted, and it won't be a problem at all. So then you can take it to the sink and wash it with dish soap and maybe an SOS pad, scrub it down really good, and you'll be good to go. You're ready to start seasoning. So I'm going to take it to the sink and I'm going to scrub it down really good, and I'll come back and let you take a look at it. Okay, we got our little pan out of the sink. Now, there's a lot of spots on it, but that is just staining. I suppose if we put it in the electrolysis tank, it may be more likely to take some of those spots off. But like right here, This is just staining. It's as smooth as it can be, and it wouldn't come off even when you scrub it with an SOS pad. I went ahead after I got it washed. I washed it with really hot water, and just as soon as I was finished, while it was still really warm, I went ahead and dried it off really quickly with a paper towel, and then I hit it with some seasoning oil. Now on muffin pans, I like to have a spray bottle, kind of like this one right here, with seasoning oil in it, and I'll spray it because it'll get into all the little holes and places that are hard to get to. And then I'll just take my hands and rub it in, and my fingers, and make sure it's in every little hole, in every little nook and cranny. And once I know it's completely covered, then I'll take another paper cloth or paper towel, and I will dry it down best that I can. But there's still a paste coat on here. That'll make it where I can let it set for a few days before I have to put it in the oven. I don't have to worry about flash rust, and that's one reason why I hit it with the oil as soon as I towel dry it. Even if it's still wet, you can go ahead and hit it with the oil, because the oil will beat away the water and it'll stop the flash rust. And then you can go back and buff it down with a towel, one that you don't mind getting stained, because it will get stained. Now this little piece right here, I think maybe it probably has never been used, but somebody had put a layer of oil on it, and that oil got old and rancid, and the lye was able to take that off. Now if it had old seasoning on it, it would have worked just as well. If you still have pieces of cruddy seasoning on your cast iron after 3 days, go ahead and let it set a few more days. It's not going to hurt it to let it set a week or 2 weeks. I've heard of people letting it set in a lye tank for a year and forgot about it, and it won't hurt it. As long as it is submerged, it won't rust, and the lye won't hurt the metal whatsoever. So the next step for this piece right here is to apply seasoning. Now I'm going to do that on the next video, and hopefully I will be able to share my new seasoning product. I've kind of kept it a secret for now. Keep an eye out for the next video with this little pan here, and maybe we'll even cook some biscuits in it. I think that'd be a good idea. Oh, one more thing. The water solution from my little lye bath, what I'm going to do with my solution is I have a large lye tank, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour it in my tank and top it off a little bit. But if you don't want to save it, you can just pour it down your drain. It won't hurt your pipes, and maybe even help them a little bit, because it will eat away organic material that's in your pipes, because that's what it was designed for. So I hope that you at least got the concept. So if you would like to start up a lye tank, you'll know the ratios and kind of the methodology involved. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I promise to keep more of them coming. You can also follow Cast Iron Cookware on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can sign up to receive emails from Cast Iron Cookware as well. I send them out about every week or so, probably more every 2 weeks or so. And my website is coming very soon, cicookware.com. So hopefully it'll be up and running in about a week or so, and I'll have my product out there for sale so you can check it out. I really appreciate you doing that. So thank you again for watching Cast Iron Cookware. Before you go, I just want to share something with you really quick. In 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, it says, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." I just want to say, share the word and be a blessing.